Hello and welcome to Lord of the Board. My name is Sam Smith, and today we are going to be looking at the brand new Disney Villainous standalone expansion, Despicable Plots. I'm going to go ahead and start off by explaining exactly how Horned King wins the game. And this is going to be kind of a multi-step process, but first of all, you're going to have to know that there is a relic in your deck, the first of its kind, and it's unique to the Horned King, called the Black Cauldron. Now this is going to be on the side of your board, and the very first thing that you're going to need to do in order to start your journey to win this game is to claim that Black Cauldron. Now there are a couple of ways that you could actually do it. You could either chase down a certain oracular pig, or you could just play Show Me the Black Cauldron. Now once you do that, you literally claim the Black Cauldron, placing it from the side of your board to above your character portrait. There are a few ways to activate it. One of them is to play the card Our Hour Has Arrived, or you can also use these Ancient Soldiers by playing the item to a location in your realm and activating the Black Cauldron. Once the Black Cauldron is activated, it flips over to its other side called the Power of the Black Cauldron, and then you can start turning your Ancient Soldiers into Cauldron Born. If you have the Power of the Black Cauldron up on your turn, before you move, you can pay 2 power to replace an Ancient Soldier with a Cauldron Born from your hand. Now repeat this process, and once you have a Cauldron Born at each different location in your realm, you have dominated the world and won the game. Now, there is going to be a lot of fun things that are going to happen along your way to trying to get these Cauldron Born at each location. And so, to help you navigate what is to come and to play your game the best you possibly can, I'm going to go through all the cards in his deck. I'm going to look at the 4 locations in Horned King's realm, and then at the end of the video, I'm going to give you 3 tips and strategies to hopefully help improve your next game as the Horned King. So with that, let's go ahead and jump right in to the guide. Let's start with the Horned King's main henchman, the Creeper. This is a 2 power cost, 1 strength ally that when used in a Vanquish action, you don't actually have to discard Creeper. Instead, you can move him to the Horned King's mover location. Now, one thing that I like to do with Creeper is I like to have my mover in a location that I need him for my next Vanquish. That way he's set up to be moved there immediately after, ready to do another Vanquish action, and then I can keep doing that throughout the game, just getting that extra strength throughout. We also have the Guard Dog, which is only 1 power and 1 strength, and when it's at a location with another ally, you can gain 1 strength, so he can go up to only 2 strength. However, this is really helpful in conjunction with the Creeper, so I like to have the Guard Dog in places where either my mover is going to be or where I know the Creeper will end up. Really simple card, and is mostly there just to clear out Fate heroes in your realm. Now, speaking of things that are going to clear out Fate heroes in your realm, we've also got the Horned King's henchmen. They do not have any special ability, they cost 2 power and have 3 strength. And there is a better ally that you have in your deck for really clearing out the enemies, but for 2 power and 3 strength, the only thing I would advise here is to not waste the power playing these guys unless you absolutely need to get rid of something. Because, like I said, there are going to be other allies that you can set up kills, and even eventually you can have allies that don't ever get discarded when destroying Fate heroes in your realm. So you'll definitely have a lot of options. And then we've got the 2 power cost Gwythainch card, which when performing a Vanquish action, Gwythainch may be used to defeat a hero at their location or at an adjacent location. And this is what I was talking about. Since most of the Fate heroes in your deck don't usually go above 2 strength anyways, these can usually clear off most of the Fate heroes in your realm. So I like to put one of these at Fairfolk Kingdom and the other at the dungeons. That way they're covering all 4 of my locations. We also have the awesome Cauldron Born in your deck, which I'm going to be talking about the Ancient Soldiers as well, since they are kind of counterparts within your deck. Now, one thing I'm going to note about the Cauldron Born is that they can only be played when the power of Black Cauldron is showing, like I said at the beginning, and they also are not discarded if they are used in a Vanquish action. So like I was saying, once you start getting the Cauldron Born out, they are practically invincible and can just stand around destroying all the Fate heroes out of your realm, which is really cool, and it's a really exceptionally good feeling when you're playing Horned King. So the whole puzzle of this really is, if you're getting a lot of Cauldron Born, but you're not getting a lot of Ancient Soldiers, then it's going to be really hard and you can't hold on to Cauldron Born all the time. So let's say you have a hand of, 4 cards and you have 2 Cauldron Born and you're only discarding 2 cards. It's not going to be worth it. Sometimes it's actually worth it to discard these so that you can get through your deck and get to those Ancient Soldiers, because you need those first. They are the first part to your puzzle. And the tip with the Ancient Soldiers is you're just going to want to play them at different locations, starting with the locations that you find yourself going to the most while playing. That way, just in case some of them get discarded, you're hopefully going to have one that you're going to want to move to in order to reactivate the Black Cauldron. So now that we have talked about the allies in his deck, let's go ahead and talk about the effect cards, starting with Show Me the Black Cauldron. Now, we've already talked about this card. This can either claim you the Black Cauldron or gain 3 power. And this is very simple. Either you're going to play this to gain the Black Cauldron if you don't have it, and since you only have to gain the Black Cauldron once in the game, you can't lose possession of the Black Cauldron, then you should always use this to gain 3 power. Just remember that it's technically only gaining 2 power because you're spending 1 power to actually play it. And then we've got the 2 power cost, we've got You Now Pigkeeper, which either allows you to find and play Henwen or defeat a hero with a strength of 1. Now, if you do not have the Black Cauldron in your possession yet, definitely play this card and use it to summon Henwen. But remember that when you have Henwen in your realm, while Henwen is in play, the Horned King cannot play effect cards, so this is kind of going to be rough for you for a little bit. When Henwen is vanquished, though, the Horned King claims the Black Cauldron in his possession. So you're definitely going to want to have Henwen be played at a location that you already have allies hopefully ready to defeat Henwen. But let's say you already have claimed the Black Cauldron, this is actually pretty great. There is a lot of weak Fate heroes in Horned King's Fate deck, so spending 2 power to remove a hero with a strength of 1 can actually be really helpful in certain circumstances. We've also got Our Hour Has Arrived, which just allows you to flip the Black Cauldron to the power of the Black Cauldron, basically skipping the activate portion that you use with your Ancient Soldiers. Now, Our Hour Has Arrived is going to be a helpful card if you're not finding those Ancient Soldiers, and it is free, so if you have it, definitely just play it if you have not flipped the Black Cauldron yet. If you have not flipped the Black Cauldron yet, go ahead and discard it. And then we've got the Visions card, which is 0 cost and allows you to gain power equal to the number of heroes in your realm. Oftentimes, in my experience, when I play the Horned King, I don't really let the heroes pile up in my realm too much. If they do, this is a great way to just gain a chunk of power. But this is definitely not one that I would be waiting for that moment for. I would just play it if I have at least 1 or 2 heroes in my realm. Don't just wait for you to have like 6 or something, because that chance likely won't happen. But it is a really great card and definitely useful in his deck to start gathering up that power, getting ready to play down those Ancient Soldiers and summon those Cauldron Born. And then we have a very cool thematic card that's only 1 power cost called We Have Made a Bargain. Now this allows you to either shuffle your villain discard pile back into your deck or pay 3 additional power, making this card 4 power if you do this, to discard Durnwin and claim the Black Cauldron. This is another way to claim the Black Cauldron, and this is so satisfying if it comes together to work out. I wouldn't say that it's always worth it, because it's likely that you've already claimed the Black Cauldron, but there truly is nothing more satisfying than feeling like you're playing a part in the film. you're likely going to be using this to shuffle your discard pile back into your deck. And when do you do this? You're going to want to be counting your cards throughout the game. You're going to be wanting to count the Cauldron Born, you're going to be wanting to count the Ancient Soldiers. If you know that you don't have a chance of drawing any more Ancient Soldiers and you need more Ancient Soldiers, then this would be a good time to shuffle that discard pile back into your deck, and hopefully you are able to start drawing those Ancient Soldiers. And I have saved the best card for last because it is a wonderful card. This is called Captured, and it is a 1 power cost card that allows you to draw 3 cards. Play it because it is wonderful. We've got the 1 condition card in the Horned King's deck, and this is only moments away from victory. This says that during your turn, if another player plays an item, you may play only moments away from victory to play an item from your hand for 0 cost. This is a very niche combo to basically save 3 power and play an Ancient Soldier in your realm. And now that we have looked at all of the Horned King's cards, let's go ahead and check out the Horned King's realm, starting with Morva. Now, Morva has a play a card action, a fate action, a discard action, and a gain 1 power action. And this is a decent location. If you're able to keep this clear, it's a good way to churn through your deck while fading your opponents. But it is likely that a lot of the spaces in your realm are going to be covered, especially if your opponent feels they're getting faded too much. This is going to be that first target location because it has the discard and the fate. And then we've got the Fearful Kingdom, which has 2 play a card actions, gain 3 power, and a vanquish action. And this is an excellent location for the Horned King because gaining power is super important. Playing 2 cards can really help with combo plays like laying down 2 Ancient Soldiers for 6 power, and vanquishing key fate heroes is always going to be something that you're going to have to look out for, especially when you've got your Cauldron Born on the board. You're going to be able to vanquish without even risking losing them. And then we've got the dank, foul, and smelly dungeons that are under the Horned King's castle. This has a play a card action, a move an item or an ally action, a fate action, and a gain 2 power action. Now, what I like about this location is that if you're able to successfully keep it clear, you are gaining 2 power and able to move an item or an ally, and able to fate, which is just a really good combo for the Horned King because manipulating and moving either your Cauldron Born or your Ancient Soldiers can be helpful for positioning. So dungeons are awesome. Spend a lot of time here if you can, and definitely try to keep the upper portion clear of heroes. Then lastly, we've got the Throne Room, which has your second vanquish action, a discard action, a play a card action, and as well as a move item or ally action. This one is going to be powerful when you have the dungeons covered and you can't move items or allies by going to the dungeons anymore. The Throne Room is going to be the next best location to get the maneuvering down, whether it's moving your Cauldron Born to a different location, clearing different fates, or maybe you need to pull off another vanquish action after going to the Fearful Kingdom. You've got a ton of options with this board that's really just built to work towards the Horned King's goal. And now that we have looked through his cards and his realm, let me go ahead and take you through 3 tips and strategies to help improve your gameplay as the Horned King. Now, my first tip is going to be about the Cauldron Born, and this is really just to keep your board active and moving. You don't want to become too stagnant. That way it's really predictable as to where you're going to be placing your next Ancient Soldier to start up your next Cauldron Born. You're going to kind of want to make it a little bit more interesting. When you start getting those Cauldron Born on the board, you're going to want to move them around and utilize them. That way your opponent can't tell where you're going to be placing your next Ancient Soldier because they've realized that you've been moving them throughout the whole game and you're just not sure when you're going to make that moment happen. And utilizing those Cauldron Born to do your vanquishing once you have them on the board is going to save you tons of power from playing other allies into your realm. They are just monsters in your realm that can defeat practically any hero that comes your way. And my second tip is more of a warning because there are some sad and powerful fates within Horned King's deck, starting with Flutterflam, which is going to be the biggest distraction ever, very thematic to the film. He's going to pull all of your allies to his location, which can move all of your Cauldron Born from around the realm to just one location, which is basically going to reset all of your movement and all of your positioning, and it really, really sucks. Flutterflam does not last long after this. You'll want to remove him, trust me, it's really annoying. So definitely be prepping for this to probably happen at least once throughout your game. And then we've also got Gurgi's Sacrifice, which is another one of those painful things which allows you to, if the power of the Black Cauldron is face up, you flip it over. So this essentially will pull you 5 power back from your goal if it pops off and removes a Cauldron Born. If it removes 2, gosh, that's really, really bad. You're 10 power behind now. So one of your goals when playing a Cauldron Born is to always play an Ancient Soldier, hopefully a turn after or the same turn if possible. And the reason for that is to ensure that you have a way to flip back over the Black Cauldron if it gets flipped over by, say, Gurgi's Sacrifice. And my last tip is to just stay focused. And the best way that I like to do this is that you essentially have to draw through your entire deck as well as gain 20 power. That really is your goal. Very few things can truly pull you away from your goal. So sometimes I would say leaving fates on the board, if you're going to be spending extra power to remove them, is actually better to save up that power. Because remember, once you get a Cauldron Born on the board, they are basically going to be your one ally of full destruction, and you can just remove all the fates and you don't even have to worry about discarding it. So it's really, really great, and that can be a really good way to save some power. And I would also say to really look at those 2 discard locations in your realm. You've got the throne room with the discard on the top, and you've also got Morva with the discard on the bottom. Utilize these because that is the quickest way that you're actually going to be getting through your deck in this game. So at any chance that you can, spare the time to discard your hand or discard at least the cards that you know you're not going to be using anytime soon. And with that, that is it for the Horned King. He is a super fun character filled with vanquishing and world domination, churning through your deck like an evil skeletal mastermind, and eventually ruling the earth with your devastating, powerful Cauldron Born. Also, once in a while, chasing a small little pig. It's really great. It's a wonderful, wonderful experience, and I hope that this video will help improve your next gameplay as the Horned King. Now, if you have any questions about him at all, please leave them down below in the comments section, or you can contact me on Twitter or Instagram. I've got my links for those down below in the description. But with that, that is it for the Horned King. Thank you so much for watching. Let's go ahead and drop the beat.